and destiny. We are going to deal with a very profound topic today. And the spiritualist of entire world discussed on this topic and they achieved something regarding this. But what our Indian philosophy has achieved is really marvelous and it's very profound. We are going to understand this concept because after understanding this concept, it will be very easy to understand the law of retribution or the law of karma. That is why today's session is very, very important because it is the basis foundation of the law of karmic law. So we have today to deal with this very deep topic, Mr. RUSHIK KARETIYA, a man of quantum science. He is teacher of physics and mathematics and very good study of science. I first of all welcome RUSHIK sir and I give the charges over to you. You need not bother about admitting the participants that I will do. Please deal with the topic.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Sure. Yes, my voice is audible, sir.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Jai Sachidanand, everyone, first of all. And if you see on the screen, a very beautiful picture has been put here, the journey. And if you see, it seems like a cycle. There is a child, there is a young, there is a elderly someone, and there is a someone who is on a deathbed. And finally, it is again through its settlement, again it is getting born. As you can see, this is a cycle, or you can say loop. A person trips and the time loop, what happens? He has to do the same activity over and over again and again. The same way as you can see, the person takes birth, he lives a life, and then again die, and again takes the birth. What are we doing here? And what is our purpose to be here? Should be determined by someone or by the one who is into this, who has the quest to find it out. So in this case, if we see that if we want to remove ourselves from the cycle of the birth and death, so certain knowledge is very much required. And if we walk on that path, certainly we can liberate even. And many of us have the question why we take birth, why we have to do this. Every morning I think, what am I doing? What I have to do? Every day I think of this. I try to figure out what I have to do. So this kind of the curiosity where it's very much difficult to reach. So let us begin this session. Activity of nature. Mother Nature is so much blissful to us, and very beautiful body has been given by Mother Nature. Yeah. So activity of nature, if you see any kind of the creation, if you see, it does not produce a sound. It remains silent. And once it reaches to the stage of maturity or it is fully developed, then the effect will be shown. And we say that it got born or it got birth. The way nature works, every activity of nature is kept hidden, not secret. If we see the algorithm of the nature, if we observe the mother nature, we can figure out little bit. We can go beyond the normal human being. But it is not secret. We require someone who might have observed before us, and who might give us a way, or who might lead us, how we can proceed. See, many examples are given here. If you see the science background, you can say that as the entropy goes upward, the randomization will increase. So the same way, the physical randomization and mental randomization, if it is at its threshold, ultimately we shall get die. So it decides how our body is randomized or our thought process has been randomized. Only randomization is not the cause, right? But it is one of the cause, we can say. Development of the child in mother's womb is not known either to the child or to the mother. See, mother spends 9 months very blissfully, very happily, right? Even child is also not knowing why, because child remains in the mother's womb with the fluid covered all around its body, right? It is not breathing at all. Still, it is living. So this is not less than the miracle. Development of child in a mother's womb is not known either to the child or to the mother. Various growth process takes place in the body. We know we grow every day. Actually, we start dying since we get birth. Right from the first breath, we start dying. But we don't sense that. We feel like we have to live a lot. That is why people forgets to live in the moment. People does not live in the moment. They complain a lot. They they nag a lot. They they talk at the back of the people a lot. While we don't have that much time, but people are generally tending to waste their time in such kind of the waste activity. So development of child in mother's womb is not known to either child or mother. Various growth processes takes place in the body: sleep, digestion, old age, disease. Each and every one of this activity takes place in the silence. As we know, if we get the fever, Dada Bhagwan says that if you are getting the fever, that means what? The problem or the disease is not you are, captured by the disease, but it is now going in the form of fever. Dada Bhagwan says so. And what do? We try to eliminate it. So sometimes it is necessary to take the medicines, but we should let our body to
Heal.
yes, digestion, old age, yeah. So that no one knows when the process actually take place. What are the underlying causes, etc. We don't know how it is happening, what is the reason, how it is processing. We only can see the result that yes, a beautiful child has got birth by so and so mother. A mystery of death. It remains a mystery only. The mystery of death falls within the scope of such hidden operation of nature, where the cause is carefully hidden. We start dying right from the first breath, as I mentioned. So the process has already been started and it is invisible to us, or we can say it is carefully hidden. But when we come to know, when we die, at that time we can say that this is the only body or the soul has been departed. But that process has already been started since long ago. However, wise people like Dada Bhagwan, who have solved this riddle, have declared to others who are not capable of solving the process of death that is similar to discharging an old car, which requires too much maintenance in favor of new car, nothing more than that. In a language of spiritualism, nobody takes birth or nobody dies. It's just only the thing that soul change the clothes as we do the same way. Why? Because it is very much difficult for the soul to maintain the same body or to reside in the same body. Why? Because soul has something, some purposes, and it has its own food too. If the body is not that much capable to deliver all the
Rishik sir, please unmute yourself.
However, yeah.
Fine.
So what happens? Just the soul change its place, and it requires a fresh soil or ground where it can sow itself. So model of new car may be different. As we see that if we die, our soul will depart and it will acquire a new body. So body will be absolutely fresh. It will not be like used one, but it will not be the identical as it was possessing before or priorly. So model of the new car may be different. At the time, it's inferior to the old model. At the sometimes it is superior. See, it depends upon our past deed. If our karma is good, we maybe definitely get a superior model than the previous one we acquired. But every time it is new, old has become too old, not usable, sometimes too dirty and monotonous, and new is fresh and invigorating. That means what? And soul can reside in it. Fear of death. See, if we notice, every time we don't carry a fear of death. Why? Because us, ourselves, we believe that we are eternal. This is our internal belief that we are eternal. So who we are? Who is eternal? If we are eternal, then what dies? There are not many questions. Fear of death is because we feel that we are finished. And when we feel that now we are going to die, and as fear. Why? Because at that time we feel that now we won't be anymore. But when you are taking a charge of the body, if you haven't taken the charge of the body, and if you are detached, I mean, if your self is detached, the true self is detached from your body, at that time you won't have any fear. But generally, people does not have that kind of awareness, and that is why Mother Nature let us sleep in deep before the death. See, we become unconscious before the death. Mostly people does not die consciously. Why? Because they feel a lot of pain. Because soul is about to depart. Soul is about to leave the body. No one wants to be extinct. Every human being instinctively feels that he should remain permanent, and it is really so. We think that. Why? Because we are there who signs, who put a signature that yes, I am the owner of this thing. I am the owner. The owner who is losing the thing, obviously he or she will feel the fear. However, mystery of death has to be examined along with mystery of birth. If suppose if you think that I have a fear of death, right? But have we ever thought that why we got born? What happened? What happened when we got a birth from our mother? So we don't care about that. We only care about the death. Now what happens? Breath currents put into operation by nature at the time of birth are so powerful that soul is just put to sleep and pseudo soul. Dada Bhagwan says it is a pratisthit atma which governs everything, is created, which believes that this body is myself. Now it has a wrong belief that I am the owner of the body, and that is why we feel the pain while dying. If that real atma, or you can say a true self, is awakened, you will detach yourself or your true self from the body, and at that time you will not have any kind of the regret by leaving the body. Or I am the body. See, as I told you that if whenever we put our signature, whenever we the pulsating breath currents flow in the entire body through 72,000 nerves current, identifiable nerve current, and this is very much I can say miraculous.
Why? The reason is it resides.
Sorry. Yeah, audible, sir?
Yeah, now you're
Am I
audible.
audible?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So the reason is, sir, previously I was not audible.
No, it was unmute actually. Previously you were audible, but for few seconds it was unmute.
Am I audible, sir?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay. So what I was telling you that the 72,000 identifiable nerves which governs our body, and we don't live by the ears, we live by the breath. That is why yogis have a long breath and less number of the breath in a minute. So this is the reason why they live long. So God grace us with the breath, not by the ear. And if you see, if you observe carefully, those creatures who has a short breath may not live longer. But as compared to if you see a turtle, it can live up to 300 years. The reason it takes only 4 to 6 breaths in a minute. So that is why in a yogic culture, the first thing is taught that how to breathe. Every time you have to focus on the breath and you should know how you breathe. If you think, if I tell you, when you are angry, you just observe your breath. What will happen? The breath will be shorter, and that will affect your body. And that is why we feel anger first of all in our body, and then we will spit out the anger on the person who is the reason behind it. So this is the reason also. So anger is the finest energy. If you can redirect it inwards or inside, you can give a fabulous result also. Moving ahead, one of the chief reasons why we are unable to experience the mysterious process of death is fear of death. And if this experience occur with the fear of death, there will be a tremendous problem. There will be tremendous pain. Fear does not allow us to remain alone. It does not let us to be separated or meditate. Fear does not allow us to trust Mother Nature. And what does it mean? Does it mean that we are disrespecting the Mother Nature? We are disrespecting the process of the Mother Nature. We don't have trust in that. Why? The reason is that we don't know what the exact process it is. But if we trust it, we may die very peacefully. A few yogi in yogic culture, there are few Mahatmas are there who know about their past birth. Why? Because they have died consciously. They know they are dying. They have departed their soul from their body very happily, and they do not have attachment towards their body once they left the body. So these kind of the things may have, I mean, we have read many a times. We have seen in a mythological documentaries also. So these kind of the things may happen. Only way out is wherever we have hatred or prejudice towards any living being, start replacing it with love or compassion. The main thing is that we do not have to know everything, each and every process. We just have to start having a compassion towards other and a love towards other. Be sympathetic, be empathetic, have a compassion, have a love towards everyone. Start experimenting with trust in Mother Nature. First and foremost, if we start or if we believing, I mean, it may be your God, whosoever you believe in, right? It belongs to Mother Nature. You just call it in a different ways or different names. You first start believing them and you put your urges towards them, in front of them, against them. They will definitely help you. And this is my personal experience. Whenever I feel low, whenever I feel, I mean, lost, I just put my all the questions to my beloved Lord. And of course, it comes with the best solution. This is my personal experience, and this has not happened once. This has happened many a times, and this is the only reason that I am very much grateful to have such kind of the knowledge and such kind of the belief system that solves my all the problem. You will find a living responsive. See, if you see that animals, if animal has a master, does that animal has to worry? No. Pet animal who is living with us, of course, we are the master of the pet animal. Once we are taking care of it, so what does it belief system? That pet animal believes that there is someone who cares for me. The same way, we must believe, or we should inculcate such kind of the belief system that there is a guardian angel for us too. There is someone who is taking care for us. So start experiment. I'm not telling you start doing it. I'm telling you just trust it and believe it. All the responses will come automatically to you. All the things will come automatically to you, and you will start believing it. You don't have to force yourself. You just put yourself into experiment, and the same thing will you will realize as I did. Start experimenting with a trust in Mother Nature and analyze the result, because the nature, the earth, and every single object in this universe is a vibration, is the energy, and we all are connected with each other. The vibrations are so powerful that we don't have to communicate. Vibration itself takes care of it. We are the energy. We are the ball of energy, and we can liberate our positive or negative vibration as per our thought process. We can leave an impact on other. See, few people, if you observe, what happens? If you see at them, you will feel or you will sense that we are not supposed to be in that in the contact of that personality. What it is? It is called aura, or you can say vibration, or you can say vibe in this modern language. So it does not have to communicate. Our body communicates itself. So this is the reason, and this is the way how Mother Nature works. You will find a living, responsive, and friendly nature protecting our new instinct of love and compassion, and helping us to come out of our negativity of dislike and prejudice. But you have to let go everything first of all. If you think that I am the doer of this particular task or particular event, then Mother Nature will tell you that you do it by yourself. But once you start trusting it, once you put everything on the feet of that Mother Nature, everything will be sorted out, and that too very quickly and with the best result. I'm sure about this. At the time of death, what happens? Before death, Mother Nature makes us unconscious so that we do not feel panic. All the breath current gets subdued like a seed of banyan tree, and this invisible seed is then put in a fresh ground, means new body, a mother's womb, and that body is now ready to grow. And after a stipulate age or stipulate span of time, the body is ready to live in the natural environment as well, coming out from the mother's womb with all the necessary requirements like water, food, air, etc., to take us on a new onward journey. So now, what died here? The body that was not suitable now for that soul. That was very high, having high maintenance, and that is why that soul departed and acquired the new body. So if that soul is known to you, that means you are having a true self of yourself. And at that time, you won't have that kind of pain. But this is not in general. Death is not the greatest loss in life. The greatest loss is what dies inside us while we live.
Okay.
And that is why we have very much less time to live, to complain, or I can say to waste the time at all. That is why elders are advising every time that think positive, live in moments. So how well you are living in the year is meaningful. How many years you are living? Sorry. Yeah. So how many years you are living, but if it is not worthwhile, then it has no meaning. If you take example of Swami Vivekananda, he lived a very short life, but it was very meaningful. Such great personality, if you observe, they might have lived a very short span of life, but it was almost equal to living a 75 or 80 years of span. The average person does work in this much span of time may have done such kind of the personality in this less amount of the time, less span of time. Rebirth. Again, this is a very good concept. If there had been no rebirth and God had molded us once for all, it will be like a robot. It will be like having the same face. We will be look alike and our actions will be the same. But if you observe around you, even a twins does not act identically. Even identical twins does not act identically. Even if their physical activity may be the same, but their mental thought process will not be the same. So God has maintained everything. And how does it maintain? By our past karma, by our charged karmas. And according to that, we got this body, and according to that, we got things to do. But here, one is big and another is small. See, these are the uh, you can say that this kind of the difference we can see in the body of the person. One is tall, one is short, one is white, one is black, one is poor, one is rich. Such would not have been the case if this kind of the rebirth concept is not there. And these differences that you find in them are due to their past births. So past birth or past deeds are the chargings, and right now this is a effect body is here to perform or here to discharge. But what we do along with the discharging the past karmas, we are charging the new karmas, and according to new karmas, the new next birth will be allotted to us. So that is why we must be careful with our present karma or karma bandhan. This present external physical and charge in our subtle bodies are only the effect of the past causes. A cause are different, so are their effects. Of course, it is obvious that the different causes has a different effects. Instances of the rebirth in the scripture and present. So if there was no a rebirth, if there was no a high level of the knowledge of the rebirth, such kind of the scripture might have not been written as well. Shikhandi was a Princess Amba who wanted to avenge on Bhishma. This is a very most popular story in the Mahabharata. The instance of genius, amazingly gifted kid, 5-year-old preaching a Gita Ji. What it is? It has already knowledge, but that physical body does not have that ability to come out, the ability of speech to bring it out. Otherwise, it has already a mechanism in it. But once that child started speaking, it is easily able to recite the shloka of Bhagavad Gita, even if at the age of 5 years. Same way, Megh Kumar and Swami Mahavira and Dada Bhagwan in the French scientist. Chandrakant sir, I would like to request you to uh, throw a light on these two remaining two examples.
Yes, it happened once. Dadaji was traveling by flight and he came across one French scientist. This French scientist approached Dadaji and asked him, requested him, can you make me believe in the rebirth? He was a seeker and he said, I am ready to spend 6 months or 1 year with you. But you have to make me believe that there is rebirth. And Dadaji says, I don't have that much time. By the time we reach our destination, I will try to explain you. certain things and you will get it. He was a scientist actually. So Dadaji explained to him the theory of cause and effect. He was so amazed, he was so mesmerized by it that he forgot actually who he is. And when the flight landed, he came out of the flight and started running, shouting on the airport, Jai Sachidanand, Jai Sachidanand, Jai Sachidanand. So Dadaji explained to him the theory of cause and effect. So he, even though actually foreigners or Europeans, they find it difficult to understand this. Their belief is not so much profound or concrete. Huh? But Dadaji explained to him in such a way that he, because he was scientist, na? Science, a man of science can better understand this spiritual science. So it happened so. Thank you, Rushik sir. Go ahead.
Thank you, sir. Okay, so what do the foreigners actually mean when they speak lucky and unlucky? Why? Because they are not so developed as the India is developed. We are a very ancient being spiritually, I must say. The Muslims use the word like takdir and tadbir. What does it mean? Fortune and unfortune. If there is word like luck, that means what? You have done something in the past, and that effect now you are enjoying, whether it is good or whether it is bad. Either it is takdir or tadbir. But their belief system is not so developed so that they are not able to understand in a certain way. What do they signify? The language of these people is perfect, but not so their belief. Because the language, luck, and their belief system, they are not aligned with each other. These words are meaningfully only with a reference to the implicit belief in the theory of rebirth. If the theory of rebirth was not there, then there is no existence of like lucky or unlucky word or such kind of the situation we can say. Cause and effect, of course, it's like a boomerang. How far you will throw, the same velocity will come to you after rebounding it. If it is good, then good will come to you with the same velocity. And if it is bad, then it will come with the same velocity. As are the causes, so are their effects. As you sow, as you will reap. Good produces good and evil produces evil effect. But there is no liberation till the end. And we got into the cycle of this getting birth and dying, getting birth and dying. The effects cease only when the cause ceases. Of course, both are dual with each other. But so long as I am Amit, that means what? Our belief system is that I am the doer of such things. As long as such kind of the belief is there, we cannot liberate ourselves from this side. And so long as I am Amit is your knowledge. Two, causes cannot be stopped. And we are putting our signature everywhere by taking a charge of those things or those events or those happening that yes, I am a doer, I have done. See, if you see that if anything good happens with the person or situation, just by the situation, if good happens to the with the person, what happens? Yes, this was my decision, and that is why this happened. That means what? That fellow has put a signature over there. That yes, I did it. So that I, but think in the contrast of that, some misfortune has happened to them. They will blame some other. Why don't they take responsibility at that time as well? So this is the reason, right? So if we stop taking the responsibility, whether it is good or bad, yeah, it happened. I might have contributed, but it happened. 100% I am not responsible for this. This kind of the belief system we once start inculcating in ourselves. At that time, such kind of the realization will start taking place. Causes stop only when an enlightened being rouses you from your slumber or of ignorance and makes you realize your true self. And that is why someone or some who can guide us is required in our life. And the very good word for that someone or that being living being is a guru. We must seek a guru in our life. Sadguru, I must say, who is a true teacher in a real sense. Nobody can change or escape from the effects in this world. Why? Because cause has already happened. You have to handle the effect also. It is completely scientific. And of course, if this happens, so that would have certainly happened. So this is very scientific. A scientist has to accept this fact. That is why it is said that we should have a very great feeling of true well-being of ourselves as well as for others as well. So that is why it is said that every person should always have the highest feeling. Bhav, bhavna it is called, right? If any authority or power a person has, it is the power of sentiments and purpose. Bhavasattva. Any human being having the good to the superlative sentiments can elevate oneself in the next birth. And that is why it is said, if you cannot help the people, either by any means, you just have a good feeling for them. You just can pray for them that everything gets settled in their lives or whatever it is, right? So this is a highest bhavasata we can say. You are doing a very good contribution in their lives, even if you are giving nothing to them in a materialistic way. You are giving a positive or you are giving a very holistic vibes to them so that the scrambled situation may unscramble and it may align as it was previously. And the living being can live very peacefully. So this is the thing. Destiny and endeavor for liberation. Prarabdha or destiny is the accumulated result of our past. That means what? Right now, what we have got the fruits is our destiny. But whatever we have received at the moment was our past karma. If you are enjoying a very good things at the moment or right now, it's just because of your past karma. So we should not blame the situation or the karma. Instead, we start understanding the things and we start doing the things as good as possible. In the absence of proper understanding, people make the mistake of considering destiny as endeavor. See, if I tell you, in your childhood or in your younghood, if you haven't worked enoughly or if you haven't saved enough, what would happen in your old age? You may suffer. You ended up by begging every day. So what was that? Was that an instant result? No. Just because we did nothing in our younger age, we are suffering the present moment. Kabir says the destiny is made first. See, this is very beautiful quote. The destiny is made first, and then the compartment is allotted according to destiny. Compartment is not made first. Compartment means body. Body is then allotted. First, destiny is made, and the destiny means what? The current body is just because of our past karma. Kabir's wonder is that the mind still be not patient. It goes on and on and on. It keeps charging every day, every moment, by body, by mind, by speech. If the internal machinery is working smoothly, then the external tendencies will also work naturally. Destiny and endeavor for liberation. Why do you solely believe that only you do all these activities? See, now at that time, as I mentioned, you are taking the charge. They all run in a natural collaboration with the multiple factors and will continue to run even if your presence is there or not. Sometimes we think that what if I was not here? Our existence does not do anything. I mean, if you or yourself is eliminated from this world, what will happen to earth? Nothing. Nothing. When you are successful, you take great pride in being the doer of it. Then why don't you accept the damage caused by your own actions? Pure consciousness remains away from both of these dualism. It is not taking charge at all. It's the ones who conquers anger, pride, illusion and greed, etc. In true sense, only he can be called a Purusha, and only he can make true endeavor for liberation. The person remains away from all these things, is eligible. This is the first eligible criteria for the same. Posthumously, once leave all his balances and asset here and here. See, what the materialistic things we have collected, we have to live here at the time of death. So what we can carry with us? Is there any currency? Yes. Love, compassion, sympathy, empathy, help, helping nature. If we have helped other, if we have helped those who don't know, these kind of the currencies are useful over there. Materialistic way, if we are living, we had never helped anyone, we had never helped our relative, live the relative, but we have not ever helped to the one who is in need in a real sense. So these kind of the things you have to even pay in a form of some other monetization, I must say. Hence, only the karmic record and spiritual well-being for yourself needs to be taken care of. The lifetime cannot be changed, but the afterlife moment can be altered. Why? Because the next birth, whatever you want to get, is in your hand at the moment. So, for that, we have to look into our karma, our daily deeds, and how we are following it. As is your thinking at the deathbed, so is your destination. Egoism dies and egoism lives. This is in between. But people say that I am dying. It's ego that dies. The nature of self and not self are totally different and they exist at their respective places, and the ego comes between. And ego does not let us to believe that we are different from our body. When one assumes as if died while alive, he realizes freedom from his mind. Yes, no one dies in the spiritual language of enlightened one, has seen only the immortal nature of consciousness. And that is why if the person is enlightened, they will not put any kind of the sad thought or sad feeling when any soul departs. Number of the people have boarded the journey from the state of creaturehood with a return ticket. Yes. And thank you so much. Jai Sachidanand. Now we are open up for the discussion. Chandrakant sir, now you can take a charge of the session.
Thank you, RUSHIK sir. Thank you. Very well explained. I invite participants now to unmute themselves and ask if they have any question. Yes, anybody, you can unmute and put up your query if you have any. Nobody?
Yes,
Well,
there is a question. Kabirji says that human beings are born only once. So my question is, can human being be born again? Yes. Chandrakant sir, please.
Yeah. Kabirji says that human beings are born only once. So my question is, can human beings be born again? Well, I did not hear Kabirji saying so. Human beings are born only once. Now, if they are born only once, then this is the common consideration in Islamic, those who believe in Islamic belief. And what we have discussed, it is advanced. Okay. So all beings, human beings, on the basis of their karmas, are subject to take birth again and again and again for endless cycle. Not only thrice, twice, 100 times. With the endless cycle, they will take birth. And what will be the foundation of this? It will be based on the charging or the causes, karmas they do. Because while living life, while accepting the effects, charging is also going on in parallel. So on the basis of that charging, a person is reborn again and again. Thank you. Anybody? Raniji, thank you very much for your remark. It's a good reminder to just present and stay positive. Beautiful story of Dadaji and the French scientist. Jai Sachidanand. Thank you very much. So let us take concluding remarks from Lala Bhai Patel sir. Lala sir, please unmute.
Hello, Chandrakantji.
Yeah, yes, sir. You are audible.
Hello.
Yes, sir, audible.
Thank you, RUSHIK bhai. Thank you for very nice session. And this was very important topic. See, destiny, rebirth, right? These
Yeah.
are just concepts only to be understood once in life. That's enough, right? Because as a science, if we come to know the basic principles, then no issue. And these are applicable to everyone. There is no choice. They say, ignorance of law is not an excuse. So, like that, this you have covered all the basic things. And if anybody has a question, then we can discuss. Anybody?
So,
Like,
Uncle, I
there's a
think there's a
question.
question in the chat. Yeah, in the chat.
Rachna
Yes, Raj.
Pancholi ma'am has questioned, can we change our destiny by doing good karma for our good life?
Right. Yes, destiny, because your present situation is based upon your past karmas. So it very well implies that man is the creator of his destiny. Right? So that is true. Rani, you wanted to ask something?
No, Uncle, I just wanted to say there was a question in the chat.
Yeah,
Okay. Right.
Yeah. No, I thought it was very well done, and you really hit all the very key points that Dadaji has got, written volumes of or spoken volumes of satsangs on these topics, but you presented such big topics very clearly and practically, and I very much appreciate the quality and content of the presentation. It was very inspiring to remain that our thoughts do have an effect on in our experience of this world, and so it's good to remain present and positive. Jai Sachidanand.
It really helps. Just as we have seen, these are only one-time understanding, right? And this helps us in relieving us of so many confusions prevailing, okay, and in our mind or created by others, right? So that way, this is a very important topic. And thank you, Rushik, once again. Thank you, everyone, for joining. We'll meet the next time after 2 weeks. Thank you, everyone. Chandrakant, you want to say something? Any announcement?
Yeah. Thank you, Lala sir.
Yeah.
And this session, as I said previously, is the foundation session, because our next session will be law of retribution. That
Right.
can be better understood if you have clear concept of destiny and rebirth. I was expecting from participants a simple question that if everything is determined, this is my question to participants. Now you have to explain. If everything is determined, what is the meaning of doing karma? If destiny is there, what is the meaning of endeavor? Anybody from participants? So this is a common question which is asked on this topic. People become fatalist. They go fatalist. And this is side effect.
They say there are many ways to understand this. Is the starting point. Okay.
Yeah.
Your destiny helps you in starting at a different starting point. This one thing. Secondly, as a human being, because of our ego, we have something called willpower. Right? Willpower depends upon the evolution of your ego. Animals also, there will be willpower, but the human being has a very wide and all-pervading willpower. So willpower is there. And destiny is what you are given situations. So if you strive hard, okay, then you have there is a place for willpower also, right? But we have to understand that generally we complain about the differences in our starting points. Why this fellow is this way? Why I am not born in the millionaire or billionaire family? All these things are resolved by understanding this. Destiny helps you in, say, if we have a weaker destiny, you have to strive harder. Right? And that way also everybody, all of us have observed this in our own life. Right? And again, it helps us to improve our understanding. For example, if I'm a teacher, I find that there is a student who has a very quick grasping, and there is a student who has a very slow grasping. Right? Now the person having the slow grasping has to work more, work harder, right? But that is also a kind of effect of karma. And that it doesn't stop him to merely accept the destiny and don't do anything. That is not the say. That is not they want to say also. The man is the creator of his destiny. And again, man is also there. He has the willpower to fight with the destiny. Right? But you should take into consideration your own circumstances, energy level, body. Kabir ji कहते हैं, Kabir ji says, as Nadi Nav Sanjog. Okay. Okay. Take into consideration the kind of river you are, you have put your boat.
In it.
Right? And then Nadi Nav. Now means your boat, condition of your boat. Right? That is your body and all these things. You cannot have simply when if you have a cardiac arrest and you say, I will climb the Himalayas, that is not endeavor. That's a boat. Your boat is weak. Okay. And Sanjog means circumstances around. Okay. All these volcanoes and all other things. That is also a very complex phenomena. But this is one aspect, destiny and endeavor. Okay. So I think we have discussed enough. Thank you
very wonderful. Very nice. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
I think for participants, the point is quite clear now. While dealing with the destiny, it is very important to continue with our very sincere and pure efforts. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
So here we end the session. Thanks a lot. And do come back for the next very interesting session, the law of karma, and very profound as well. Thank you very much. You can share the link also with your friends and relatives. Thank you very much. Have very good time, everybody. Jai Sachidanand.